Independence Day is something like a holiday, celebrating the anniversary of country's independence from another country that ruled it in the past. This is how the normal people define the meaning of independence, right? But no, it's not like that. Independence is the pain, independence is the gain, independence is going through the hard times. Independence is something like, sacrificing the lives, and that's how we'll get the independence. And it didn't mean like, we should sacrifice our lives just like that. I didn't mean like that. But yeah, at some point you should be able to sacrifice your life for your country, for your own motherland. Independence is something in which we should pray to our leaders or great personalities who sacrifice their lives for their own country. And by the way, most of us, this is done by most of us, in which we will remember our great leaders or great personalities who had sacrificed their lives. We will remember them at on their birthday anniversaries or death anniversaries only. You should be able to relate the incidences that occurs in our daily life to these leaders, that how was a decision taken by them at that time. And India, it didn't get its independence just like that. It went through the hard times, it went through the hard situations, hard time periods, and we cannot count the number of times or the number of situations in which India gone by. It is so hard to do such thing, it is so hard to count. Independence. The midnight of August 14th, 1947, it symbolized the rebirth of a nation after the slumber of centuries and a long struggle for self-determination. After seeing the good situation in India, Jawaharlal Nehru in the assembly said that,
long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes when we shall redeem our pledge. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
And from this day, India kept on facing the challenges and it kept on going through the hard times. Like the struggle number 1, where we had the Kashmir War of 1947 to 48. It is also known as Indo-Pakistani War of 1947 to 48. This war was fought because Pakistan feared that the Maharaja of the princely state of Jammu Kashmir would accede to India. But before that, Maharaja also feared that Jammu and Kashmir should not be acceded to Pakistan at all. As the Pakistani terrorists, they entered into Jammu Kashmir for the attack, in order to attack the people, in order to attack the innocent people of Jammu Kashmir. So Maharaja asked Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel to look after Jammu Kashmir, as he thought that it would be better if Jammu Kashmir would accede to India. On 30th Jan 1948, Gandhi was assassinated by Nathuram Godse, and India cried like never before in its past. People just misunderstood Nathuram Godse. Yeah, you may think that, I'm crazy. But yes, people just misunderstood Nathuram Godse as they didn't want to hear the last words of Godse. They did not want to hear the last words of Godse. Godse killed Gandhi because he felt that Gandhi fasted when Hindu refugees occupied mosques in Delhi. But Gandhi did not even raise a voice when Hindus were mistreated by Muslims in what is now known as Pakistan. Therefore, Godse squarely criticized Gandhi for this. This was the last sentence, or the last words of Godse before his death. But these words or the sentences, they were not released by the court under Indian National Congress rule. And later, these words or these sentences, they were released by the Janata Dal Party in 1977 after the brutal defeat of INC. 26 Jan 1950, it was a date on which the Constitution of India came into effect. It was a day, or it was the result day for the Constitution makers of India, and it was also the relaxing day for them, as they adopted many articles, many amendments, so many sections or the parts of the Indian Constitution. They adopted so many from various countries' constitution. They were inspired from many constitutions of various countries. And it took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to complete the historic task of drafting the constitution for independent India. And now we will further continue with the States Reorganization Commission of 1953. 1953 State Reorganization Commission. It was formed by the central government to recommend the reorganization of state boundaries on the basis of language, culture, ethnicity and geography. This commission was formed in 1953. Sino-Indian War of 1962. It was fought between India and China. It involves mainly China, occupying the Aksai Chin, where India had lost approximately 42,735 kilometers square to China, which is now known as China-occupied Kashmir. 1967 to 68 Green Revolution. It was initiated in 1960s by introducing high-yielding varieties of rice and wheat to increase the food production in order to alleviate the hunger and poverty. Indo-Pakistan War of 1965. The conflict began following Pakistan's Operation Gibraltar, which was designed to infiltrate forces into Jammu Kashmir to precipitate an insurgency against Indian rule. Nothing but the Pakistan forces were trying to occupy the Kashmir of India. We had another war known as Indo-Pak War of 1971. The war was triggered after Pakistan launched airstrikes on 11 Indian air bases. It was perhaps the first time in which all three Indian forces fought in unison. India quickly responded to Pakistan Army's movements in the west and captured around 15,010 kilometers of its territory. It is also known as the Bangladesh Liberation War. 93,000 soldiers of Pakistan surrendered before the Indian Army, and it was the largest surrender of any country after the Second World War. After the 4 years of Indo-Pakistan War of 1971 war, we had the emergency, which can be also considered as the second Black Day for India. It was officially issued by the President Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed under Article 352 of the Constitution because of the prevailing internal disturbance. The emergency was in effect from 25th June 1975 until its withdrawal on 21st March 1977. Emergency was declared by Indira Gandhi due to the political unrest, and second one is the Raj Narayan verdict. We had the general elections of 1977. INC lost these 1977 elections brutally because it had an effect of 1975 emergency. As people, they faced these brutal rules and regulations during the emergency period. They literally felt like locked themselves in a dark room. And also Raj Narayan of Janata Party once again stood against Indira Gandhi from the Raebareli constituency. He defeated her with a margin of more than 50,000 votes. Operation Bluestar of 1984. It was the code name of an Indian military action which was carried out between 1 and 10th June 1984 in order to remove the Sikh Damdami Taksal leader Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale and his followers from the building of Harmandir Sahib complex in Amritsar, Punjab. On 31st October 1984, two of Gandhi's Sikh bodyguards, they shot her with the service weapons in the garden of the Prime Minister's residence at Safdarjung Road, New Delhi, allegedly in revenge for Operation Bluestar. On the same day, on the morning of 31st October 1984, Rajiv Gandhi was appointed as the Prime Minister. And this is not a dynasty, man, come on. The 1991 election resulted in a Congress-led stable minority government for 5 years. The first successful coalition government in India which completed the whole 5-year term. We also had the economic reforms. The reforms began with the devaluation of the rupee on July 1st, 1991, followed by a second round of transfer of a total of 46.91 tons of gold from the reserve assets of the RBI in Mumbai. In the same year, Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. As per the Supreme Court of India judgment by the Judge K.T. Thomas, the killing was carried out due to personal animosity of the LTTE chief Prabhakaran towards Rajiv Gandhi. Parashut Shantilal Mehta. He was an Indian stockbroker. Mehta's involvement in the 1992 Indian securities scam made him infamous as a market manipulator. The scam was the biggest money market scam it was ever committed in India, amounting to approximately rupees 5,000 crores. There were a series of 5 nuclear bomb test explosions conducted by India at the Indian Army's Pokhran test range in May 1998. It was the second instance of nuclear testing conducted by India. By this instance, the world was shocked looking at India. P.V. Narasimha Rao of 2004. He was an Indian lawyer and politician who served as the 9th Prime Minister of India from 1991 to 1996. In 2004, when Sonia Gandhi was the Congress president, she did not let former PM Narasimha Rao's body into Congress headquarters in Delhi. According to India Today, it said that the reason put forth by the Congress defenders then was that the body was so heavy that it was difficult to lift it off the gun carriage and place it inside the Congress headquarters. Guys, from my point of view, I think that Sonia Gandhi did not like P.V. Narasimha Rao because just listen to me. I request everyone to think it more than twice, because if any member of the Gandhi family would be in place of P.V. Narasimha Rao, then would they send the body to their native place? I request you all to think it one more time. After the death of great Prime Minister of India in 2004, we had the general elections. Manmohan Singh was the first Sikh to become a Prime Minister. The 335 members included both the Congress-led United Progressive Alliance, the governing coalition formed after the election. The 2008 Mumbai attacks were a series of terrorist attacks that took place in November 2008 when 10 members of Lashkar-e-Taiba, an Islamist terrorist organization from Pakistan, it carried out 12 coordinated shooting and bombing attacks lasting 4 days across Mumbai. India had won the World Cup of 2011 after 28 years, according to 2011, where it had won the 1983 World Cup before also. Unfortunately, India had lost its missile man in 2015. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former president, he passed away while delivering a lecture at IIM Shillong on July 27, 2015. He suffered with a cardiac arrest while delivering a speech at IIM, and he collapsed, leading to his death. He had been a great person. He had been inspiration for the crores of Indians, and India will remember him forever. He is in our history now. In the early hours of September 18, 2016, 4 heavily armed terrorists crossed the line of control, also known as LOC, trekked for about 6 kilometers, breached a heavily guarded military camp in the URI town of Jammu Kashmir, and launched a massive grenade attack. On 29 September 2016, India announced that it conducted surgical strikes against militant launch pads across the line of control in Pakistani-administered Kashmir and inflicted significant casualties. Why did demonetization take place? There were 3 main economic objectives of demonetization. Number 1, fighting black money. Number 2, fake notes. And number 3, creating a cashless economy by pushing digital transactions.
Brothers and sisters, to break the grip of corruption and black money, we have decided that the 500 rupee and 1000 rupee currency notes presently in use will no longer be legal tender from midnight to night, that is 8th November 2016.
On January 27, 2020, India reported its first COVID case in Kerala, and it took many lives of the innocent people. It led economic depression. It led to the economic depression. It led to the educational institutions, malls, restaurants, etc. were all shut down. It showed much effect to the education especially, and still this pandemic is not yet over. 2021, first ever athletic Olympic gold medal for India. Neeraj Chopra put in a stunning performance in javelin throw to win India's first Olympic gold medal in athletics. The 23-year-old registered a best attempt of 87.58 meters to finish ahead of Czech Republic duo. The Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award was renamed to Major Dhyan Chand Award on 6th August 2021. So you see guys, that's how India had struggled since independence. That's how India achieved the unbelievable awards. That's how India went through the hard times. That's how India secretly conducted the nuclear test. That's how India had gone under the emergency. That's how India had shown great contribution towards the national game and also other top sports. And that's how India proved to the world that it is a strong nation and it is capable of facing any type of situation. These were all possible because of all the freedom fighters, because of all the talented personalities. And especially, these were all possible because of you people. You, the Indians. We shall all hope that India should reach to its greater heights in its future. Respect, love, bow to your motherland always, and always be proud for being an Indian. You should be able to sacrifice your life to your motherland at any time, any day, and anywhere. You are grateful for being an Indian. Remember that. Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.